when a farmer found enormous armadillo shells on his land in Buenos Aires, Argentina in February 2020.
Random tree or house on top of a hill, but in the middle of absolutely nowhere, like in a big field. I've seen it in movies all the time. I've always wanted to take pictures and just explore something like that or relax by it.
Explorations can be pretty exciting, but things get even crazier when you stumble upon the strangest things in the middle of nowhere. In this video, I will take you on a journey through the strangest things found in the middle of nowhere.
But one particular picture attracts attention because it shows a structure that looks like a massive eye.
So, without any further delay, let's get started. Number 1. Ancient Armadillo. A few years ago, a farmer named Juan de Dios Sota made one of the most fascinating discoveries in Argentina. The farmer stumbled upon the fossils of an ancient species of armadillos known as glyptodonts, which probably date back to at least 20,000 years ago. To be specific, these remarkable remains of the most massive armadillos were found in a dried riverbed near Buenos Aires. The Institute of Archaeological and Paleontological Investigations excavated the specimens, and in hopes of recovering just 2, they were lucky enough to find 2 more.
But unlike either of those creatures, glyptodon specimens regularly grew to 10 feet in length and weighed 1 ton.
For a total of 4 fossils. Thanks to these fossils, scientists were able to learn a lot about glyptodonts, such as how massive they were, reaching lengths of up to 10 feet and weighing around 100 pounds. Number 2. Dinosaur found in Australia. In Queensland, Australia, a team of paleontologists finally discovered the first complete Elasmosaurus fossil in the country. Which one is cuter? Like for the dog, comment for the cat. The specimen was unearthed near McKinley, a remote town in western Queensland. The area first caught the researchers' attention when a property owner shared images of it. When the excavation team fully revealed the specimen, they were left in shock. What lay in front of them was both the head and body of an Elasmosaurus.
Plesiosaurs had flippers and long necks, small tails and large bodies,
making it insanely rare. It's believed that the specimen must have lived around 100 million years ago and measures around 6 meters in length. The area where the fossil was found was once an inland sea during the Cretaceous period, which is why scientists were able to find such a massive sea animal buried deep beneath the surface. Number 3. Underground Soviet command bunker. This man found a functioning bunker. As you can see, as he descends the underground staircase, and once he opens the door, comes the shocking moment. The lights are actually working. He then goes further deep inside the bunker and stumbles upon different machinery. As he flips one of the switches, some machine activates with a loud noise, indicating that everything inside this hidden facility is still functioning, even though it's all flooded with water. The YouTuber keeps on exploring without being sacred, even for a second, showing his viewers how massive this underground facility really is. The facility itself is actually a Soviet command bunker, and if you notice, all the old military equipment is still left untouched, which indicates that the place hasn't been explored up until now. Number 4. Strange Shaman grave. Nearly 2 decades ago, in 2005, a team of archaeologists was exploring the Hilazon Taktit cave in northern Israel. All they hoped for was to find ancient artifacts, but little did they know they would find something more bizarre and sinister. While searching and digging, they stumbled upon a very strange-looking burial site estimated to be at least 12,000 years old. The site was the resting place for at least 28 individuals who were buried inside the cave and possibly belonged to the Natufian people.
We can see already that this site was in use for a prolonged period of time.
Among these 28 graves, one stood out the most. In fact, it actually looked cursed. This grave was hidden from the rest of the skeletons by a stone divider. And if that wasn't odd enough, the individual's remains were placed in a very awkward pose. Moreover, the things buried alongside the body were very bizarre, such as a human foot that didn't belong to the main skeleton, several bones of wild animals, and the most intriguing 50 tortoise shells were were also found. Archaeologists were left in shock and eventually concluded that this grave might have belonged to a female shaman and that a special ritual must have been performed when she died. Number 5. House in the middle of nowhere. The title says in the middle of nowhere, so how about I actually take you literally in the middle of nowhere? If you grew up watching Cartoon Network, then there's absolutely no way you don't know about Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was a show about a couple who owned a dog named Courage and lived in the middle of nowhere. Yes, I'm not joking. That's where they actually lived. Aside from the creepy and eerie plot of the show, the house in which they lived actually exists in real life. Apparently, this YouTuber found one resembling the one in the cartoon, which feels bizarre. From the house to the trees and the freaking windmill, they all look straight out of that TV show.
So there's a vent right there, but there's also one right over there.
Aside from this lonely building, everything around it is empty. There are no trees or anything in the distance, making it quite creepy. Who knows, maybe a couple lived in this house and had a dog as well, who would regularly save them from aliens and ghosts. All jokes aside, it's an intriguing find that will definitely catch the eye of cartoon fans. Number 6. WW2 Tunnels. This explorer found one of the most important parts of history, hidden away deep inside the forests, where only a few people knew its whereabouts. What I'm talking about are the World War II tunnels that were officially constructed on the orders of Hitler himself. These tunnels are absolutely massive and have several bunker-type locations hidden inside. Moreover, this area is considered crucial because it was one of Hitler's first losses during World War II. Due to such a defeat, the Germans hid away inside these tunnels to fortify the location so they could still have an upper hand. The explorer enters the tunnel system through a massive German-built door located on a street with one side opening into a forest. The tunnels were later re-established for civilian use during post-war bombings and had further enhancements like toilets. Even though the engineering behind these structures is truly remarkable, they're still nowhere near the living standards for humans, so it's no wonder why soldiers were so depressed. Imagine living in the dark, always in fear of getting ambushed, or the tunnel collapsing as one of those bombs hit it. Not the way anyone would want to live. Number 7. Abandoned expensive cars found underground. This explorer came across an abandoned facility hidden from the rest of the world, and unlike any other abandoned building, this one is absolutely crazy. Inside lies hundreds of cool-looking sports cars, all left there, waiting to catch years of dust. In the video, the guy shows one of the coolest cars, which resembles the iconic DeLorean from Back to the Future. Things get very serious when he finds a Formula One car. Now, what else does a car enthusiast need other than seeing one of the fastest cars on the planet? Someone spent millions of dollars on all these vehicles and left them there to be abandoned, which adds a ton of mystery and excitement to the entire building. Number 8. Plane in a forest. Here's another explorer who found one of the most exciting things in the middle of a forest. As you can see, it's a massive airplane sitting in the woods surrounded by trees, making you wonder how it got there. As the explorer explores the area, he comes across a mailbox, which shows that someone actually lives in that airplane. As they go deep inside the forest to meet the plane's owner, they come face to face with the massive aircraft. The explorers then knock at the door to meet the owner, who welcomes them with open arms and gives them a tour of his unique residence.
So we went up my neighbor's driveway because my driveway is too small.
The one back up the hill slightly?
No.
The owner had completely transformed the aircraft into a personal living space while keeping the original interior intact. He later revealed that he was able to transport this plane to the middle of the forest by transporting it in different parts, and it cost him $100,000 to buy it. Now that's just crazy. Number 9. WW2 Artifacts. This man is digging through the mud, trying to pull something out. Turns out, it's a helmet. And not just any helmet. It's a German World War II helmet, complete with the bullet hole right on top. Later, he even uncovered pieces of fabric, likely from a German raincoat tent. And if that wasn't fascinating enough, he also found a Soviet helmet. But things took a much more intense turn when they discovered an anti-tank mine. Luckily, it didn't have a detonator. Along with that, he also found something truly chilling, the upper jaw of a soldier. Now that's terrifying. Number 10. Abandoned ship on an island. This group was exploring an island and hoping to find a rumored cruise ship that was also stuck there. As they venture through the woods, they come across an abandoned villa, and after a quick effort, they are finally able to get in. The villa was pretty much empty, except for a few farming tools lying around. There was nothing much to see, so they left it to keep searching for the abandoned ship, and it didn't take them long to find it. The cruise ship seemed absolutely massive, equipped with hundreds of cabins and equipment like radios lying around.
Look how the curtains are torn. It looks scary.
The overall condition of the ship was quite devastating. One wrong step and things could get nasty. They even found the ship's anchor mechanism, and after peeking inside the cabins, they found a lot of stuff lying around. Considering the sheer size of the cruiser ship, it must be a tourist attraction on the island. But why abandon it? Number 11. Nuclear bunker under a bungalow. These two explorers are on their way to a massive, abandoned nuclear bunker hidden beneath a seemingly ordinary bungalow. The bungalow effectively conceals the entrance to the bunker, and after searching around the property, they finally discover a small opening at the back. Immediately upon entering, they are met by a complex security system, and to their surprise, the bunker still has electricity. As they venture deeper, they realize just how vast the bunker is. Various items are scattered across the floor, along with shelves and electrical equipment, all left untouched. Number 12. Abandoned vehicles in the middle of nowhere. This explorer is filming his experience while traveling in the middle of nowhere to find abandoned cars. That's when he comes across a red vintage-style vehicle that has been abandoned, with no signs of who owned it or how it ended up there. Only after traveling 20 miles from the first car did the man find another, and this time even further off-road. There is no way someone just drove it here on purpose. The car seems to have a ton of bullet holes, or that's what it seems like. It's fascinating to imagine the story behind these vehicles. Did they get stolen, or were they part of some criminal activity and were left here to dispose of the evidence? Number 13. Massive wall in the middle of this forest. The video was recorded by an amateur archaeologist who was exploring the Siberian forest. Unlike his regular routine this time, he went a bit further into the woods. As he went deeper, he met a dead end because a massive wall stood in front of him. In the video, you can see exactly what the bizarre-looking wall.
The precision of the construction and the presence of inscriptions make this theory less convincing to many researchers.
Which easily stretches up to a mile, looked like. The wall is located deep within the forest, probably unknown to the rest of the world. The discovery led to many speculations, including the belief that the government might have made it a secret facility, or that it might be the remnants of some unknown ancient civilization. Whatever it is, it truly is a remarkable piece of engineering. Number 14. Abandoned mansion with a secret bunker. The house you see is not ordinary because it was built by a doomsday prepper who lived with his wife and 2 children in the 1970s. Under the building lies an entire doomsday bunker equipped with all the resources and equipment to survive a catastrophic event. The house itself is quite luxurious and has all the necessities to live a happy life with your family. But sadly, it has now been left abandoned and taken over by nature. Number 15. WW2 submarine found in a rainforest. Recently, at the coast of Belgium, a World War I submarine was discovered, and remarkably, it still had the bodies of all 23 crew members.
Find is very unique, the Western Flanders governor told the Associated Press. The impact damage to the sub was at the front.
The Germans used the submarine during the war, and once it was sunk after hitting a mine, it remained underwater for several decades, staying intact for all these years. It's located around 80 to 100 feet below the surface, and for the greater good, the exact location was kept hidden so that the remains of the fallen soldiers wouldn't be disturbed. Number 16. Abandoned cars, deep inside a cave. This explorer is traveling through a mining cave system and descends nearly 200 feet to reach the resting place of hundreds of abandoned cars. The explorer goes deeper into the cave until he finally comes across the massive pile of abandoned cars. He then sits in a boat to cross the flooded area and get a better look at this massive dumpster. A truly fascinating experience to find stuff like cars in a place where you can't even walk straight. Number 17. Colossal Cube. The structure that you see is quite similar to a cube, and to your surprise, it isn't fake at all. This is a genuine, naturally formed, massive cube located in the middle of a remote forest. It's a geological wonder and is possibly not a remnant of some ancient civilization nor a modern tourist attraction. It truly is natural. Number 18. Atlantis in Sahara. The Richard structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, has intrigued archaeologists and scientists worldwide. The structure is located in Mauritania and is known to span approximately 25 to 31 miles in diameter. It features concentric rings that resemble a giant bullseye. It was initially mistaken for an impact crater from a meteorite, but later it was believed to have been formed by tectonic uplift during the Cretaceous period.
And on this map of the Western Sahara Desert, Mella had remarked something gripping about the Atlantic or the Atlantean people.
Some theorists propose that the Richard structure could be a remnant of Atlantis due to its circular shape and size, which resemble Atlantis's capital city descriptions. And considering that the Sahara wasn't always a desert, but rather a lush green heaven with water pumping, it's quite possible that an ancient civilization thrived here once. Number 19. Tutens Mummy. In November 1922, when Howard Carter, a renowned British archaeologist and Egyptologist, discovered the long-lost tomb of the 18th dynasty pharaoh Tutankhamun in the Valley of the Kings. Carter was a massive fan of revealing the hidden mysteries of ancient Egyptian pharaohs, like finding artifacts and mummies. However, the sole purpose of his life was to find Tutankhamun's tomb, which he fulfilled and marked his name in the history books.
Tutankhamun's mummy is covered in jewels.
Aside from just getting all the fame, he also got something much more sinister, the Tutankhamun's curse. The Tut's tomb was packed with jewels and artifacts, and if we started counting them, they could top the 5,000 mark. In 1922, Carter's team uncovered a plaster doorway stamped with Tutankhamun's name. When they opened it, they found King Tut's coffin, which was purely made of gold. Later, Carter died himself from Hodgkin's disease, along with the deaths of many other members of the excavation team, leading to speculations that they all were cursed from invading the Forbidden Tomb. Number 20. Noah's Ark. The Noah's Ark incident holds great evidence in numerous religious texts, but is there any real-life truth to it? Well, you'll be surprised to know that there is a lot of evidence that the incident actually occurred in history. Let me take you to Mount Ararat in Turkey, one of the most prominent places that is believed to be where the massive ship sits on top of the mountain. An entire excavating team has been continually working on a geological formation called the Durupinar Formation. This has led to the discovery of numerous ancient materials, including clay and marine materials dating back to 5,500 and 3,000 BC, suggesting that human activities existed here. Number 21. Ancient Egyptian Tomb. This archaeologist and his team have just stumbled upon the burial site of a baby coffin. As they excavate the coffin, they discover a part of the gold necklace, along with a pot filled with artifacts and a handmade craft meant to accompany the dead in their afterlife. The team quickly excavates the site and returns everything to the tents to examine it more closely. They then finally open up the coffin, revealing the body of the child who died thousands of years ago. The remains were in a very bad state, as over the years, the moisture caused them to decompose. Moreover, the body wasn't mummified as the traditional Egyptians used to do, keeping the body intact even after so many years. Number 22. Giants of Lovelock Cave. The Lovelock Cave in Nevada gained a ton of attention when news of the intriguing discovery of ancient human remains spread worldwide. The remains were very different from a normal human skeleton, as they were very massive.
The idea that giant bones were actually found in a cave in Nevada,
leading scientists to believe that this might be an ancient race of giants that existed thousands of years ago. The skeletons are reported to be around 10 feet tall and have distinctive red hair. To make it more interesting, the discovery aligned with the stories of local Native American legends about a race of giants known as the Sitika, who were said to have lived in the region and were eventually driven out. Number 23. NASCAR Lines. NASCAR lines are massive lines spread across a significant area, creating weird patterns resembling animals or alien-like creatures. So far, scientists strongly believe that the NASCAR lines must have been made by some ancient civilization, but conspiracy theorists believe that they were made by aliens who might have invaded our planet in the past.
When you look at how many lines are actually there, it's an incredible number.
When it comes to their age, not much is known, except that they might be from 500 BC or 500 AD, adding mystery to the whole situation. These lines feature over 70 animal-looking patterns that spread over 30 miles. Now, it's highly possible that these were made for religious purposes or to keep track of water resources beneath the surface, but that raises a question. How the hell did they make these so perfectly when they didn't have drones or helicopters back then? Maybe we'll never know. Number 24. Doorway on Mars. From forests to places that are literally in the middle of nowhere, now let's take things to the next level and venture into space to the mysterious and lifeless planets in our solar system. I'll be taking you to Mars because, in 2011, NASA's Curiosity rover was officially launched to explore the Martian surface in hopes of discovering life on the planet.
In the middle of the mountain-like structure, which has led to the speculation that some.
Despite the mission being quite a success, there was something that even scientists couldn't explain with a satisfying answer. On May 7, 2022, the rover sent back a bizarre photograph from Mars. The picture was from an area known as East Cliffs, as it's around a mound of rock. Mars is packed with weirdly shaped rocky structures, but this one was very different, or should we say, way too perfect to have been naturally formed. The answer to all of these questions lies on the Martian surface, and all we have is this photograph to keep us wondering what the truth is that's hidden from us. Number 25. The infamous M Cave. The story of the M Cave and Kenny Veach's disappearance is a mysterious and chilling tale that has captured the attention of many. Kenny Veach was a 47-year-old hiker and YouTuber known for his adventurous spirit. In June 2014, he commented on a YouTube video about a cave he had discovered near Nellis Air Force Base. The cave's entrance was shaped like a capital M. He further described feeling strange vibrations when he approached it, which caused him to decide to fall back. The people started requesting him to go back and film it, which he agreed to. In October 2014, he attempted to find it again, but was unsuccessful. Later, in November 2014, he tried again one more time, and this time, he was armed with a 9mm handgun and a video camera. Some believe that Kenny fell into the mine shaft, while his girlfriend thinks he committed suicide as he was suffering from depression. But many people believe that Kenny really did find the M Cave, and whatever sinister thing was inside got to him, leading to his disappearance. The original exploration video of Kenny is still on YouTube, reminding us of his claim that something mysterious is happening around Area 51. Number 26. Massive stone sphere in Bosnia. Recently, a massive sphere was found in Podubravlje village near Zavidovici, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The stone sphere is known to be quite large and weighs several tons. Moreover, thanks to its perfectly round shape,
Various alternative researchers have argued that the stone spheres actually belong to a much older period.
It seems to be quite man-made. Some experts believe the sphere could be a remnant of an advanced civilization that existed over 1,000 years ago. However, some argue that the stone sphere is likely a natural formation known as a concretion. What do you think it is? An ancient man-made stone or an ancient natural rock? Whatever it is, it's ancient either way. Number 27. The Underwater Christ Statue. The underwater statue known as the Christ of the Abyss is a captivating piece of art submerged in the ocean. The statue was inspired by Italian diver Giulio Marcante, who made a representation of Christ standing underwater as a memorial for those who lost their lives at sea. The statue was placed underwater on August 22, 1954, in the Mediterranean near San Fruttuoso, Italy. It stands 8 feet tall, and you need to travel 56 feet beneath the surface to reach it. Number 28. Strange Tunnel. These cave explorers are daring enough to enter this eerie tunnel without hesitating for a second. As they enter this cave mine, they are met with a tight squeeze that takes them deeper and deeper into the darkness. They keep following the pipelines spread across the cave, which, unfortunately, is filled with crickets. Later in the video, the guys get stuck in the cave, and to make matters worse, they feel very claustrophobic because the cave is also flooded. But somehow, without getting too panicked, they were able to make it out safely. Number 29. Creepy House in the Middle of Woods. This YouTuber ventures through the woods to find an abandoned house since 1945. After a prolonged hike, he finally reaches the house, which is way creepier than the ones in a horror movie. The inside of the house is just as creepy and ominous looking as the outside. The walls have creepy sentences written over them, adding to the eerie vibes. The house is left to be taken over by nature, and inside, there's not much stuff left behind, but even still, it's a fascinating find. Number 30. Strange Metal Pillar. In southeastern Utah, as the local officials were flying in a helicopter to find wild sheep, they spotted something very strange in the desert. They saw a stainless steel monolith, towering bin in the middle of nowhere. As the news spread, several explorers discovered the pilar and examined it. They found out that it was hollow and didn't stick to the magnet. Unfortunately, the object has now been removed by an unknown party, disappearing just as it appeared. That's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and press the bell icon so you won't miss out on new content. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.